One more.
First of all, I'd like to thank some people before I get started. I always thank my wife, and I think I tell the same story every year. I've been married 29 years, and I've been a head coach 25, but I've been coaching about 32. So she doesn't really know what it's like to not have a husband that coaches. So I got a good deal. And also, she loves basketball. She watches it all the time. She tells me when there's games on. And so I'm very fortunate. So I just want to thank her and my daughter, because sometimes you spend a lot more time with your players than you do with your own kids in this profession. And they both put up with me sometimes in that regard, and they get a little tired of it every once in a while, but I just want to thank both of them for being supportive and allowing me to do this, because I love it, and I just want to thank them. I also want to thank our booster club, and we're going to do some things later, but I just want to thank all the parents that have worked to support what we do here, to help us with the moral support, the financial support, and all the other areas that we needed. I'd like to thank all those people that are involved in the Booster Club and helping us. I'd like to thank our administration. Ms. Salazar and all the assistant principals have been extremely supportive. Come to games, they're into it, you see them the next day. You know, they're excited about it. And I've been at 3 schools in 25 years as a head coach. And they've all been great experiences for me, some good, some bad, but they've been growth experiences. But I don't know if I've ever had administration that's been that supportive. Gene Victor's our new AD, he's been terrific. And I'd like Gene, stand up please. And I'd like to thank Gene. Just for all his support. And you know, he understands it, he's still coaching, so it makes it really nice. Ms. Salazar and all of her crew as well. I'd like to also thank JD. Terrific. It's been wonderful having all our games online. My sister back in Pennsylvania watches them. When my brother doesn't want to drive across from the east side, he watches them. So it's been great just for my family, but I know everybody else, and grandparents and everybody else. It's a terrific service. And I really appreciate everything you've done and how supportive you've been. Marty Sice, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. I know you've taken hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures of our kids, and that's been very supportive. And you've also helped us with some awards tonight and some various items put together the community service, which was extremely beneficial to our kids over Christmas, I think, and the coaches as well. That was great, so thank you, Marty. I'd also like to thank our coaching staff. Please stand up, guys.
Please stand up. Yeah.
You know all these guys, so I won't go through their tenure necessarily. Ortiz and I have been together for all 14 years here. Carter's been with us for 7. Coach's been with us for 13. Woody's been with us for 2. And Corey, he's a rookie. But they're great, and as well as Eddie McCall, who could not be here tonight. But I think our experience runs the gamut. And I think that benefits our kids tremendously. I'm going to start with a few things. Kids know I keep notes in the pocket. Sometimes I use them and sometimes I don't. But these guys accomplished a great deal this season. And I know when the season ends like it did for us, it's abrupt, to say the least. It's hard to fathom, it's hard to gather, it's hard to grasp, all those types of things. And it's difficult. And as you watch the tournament proceed, and then you start watching the NCAA tournament, and if you watch sports as long as I have, that's how sports are. And they're a little bit like life sometimes. They parallel life. And sometimes we have outcomes that we don't want and that we don't like and that we have to endure, and it's painful, especially when you have high expectations like we do. So that abruptness is painful. You know, and I watched a couple of twos go down to 15 seeds in the NCAA tournament. I particularly watched Michigan State and Louisville. And I just saw how Michigan State couldn't put the ball in the hole there down the stretch. And they tried like crazy, and they gave a terrific effort, but they didn't have their best scoring night. And in sports, sometimes that happens. And it's difficult. So if we look forward or we look back, so to speak, we started a little bit slow as far as our expectations go. These guys have been in the works, so to speak, especially our seniors, for 3 years. The process started really about 3 years ago. And the development started about 3 years ago. So when you get to your senior year and you don't get everything you want out of it or you expected out of it, it's painful. When we got to the Clovis tournament, things seemed to come together for us. We had great chemistry, we had great execution, and I thought we played terrific defense for 3 straight games in that Clovis tournament. We played some awfully good teams there, and I don't know if it was being away from home, playing 3 in a row, playing somebody different, but it sparked us. It got us going. And I think at that point, we realized what we could accomplish as a team. And when you reel off 14 straight wins in the middle of the season, sometimes it's difficult to sustain that. It's a long season. But I thought we had some terrific moments. And some of the things as a coach you remember, obviously you remember practice times and certain games and things like that. And I'll remember after the Albuquerque High game when we celebrated in the locker room. I remember after the Clovis tournament when kids were jumping around that locker room. And those are the moments that you really remember as a coach. The El Dorado game, you know, you come running in the locker room as a coach and you kind of have those moments, you know, where chest bumping and kids are knocking you around pretty good, but I don't know if that was because they were happy or this is my chance, you know. But, you know, those types of moments. The last second win here against Monzano, Albuquerque High, El Dorado, the great win at Cleveland versus Volcano Vista to win the district regular season. That was tremendous. And I'll never forget Croy the year before when we won there, and Croy was in his socks after the game. He says, "Coach, you know, if you get in your socks, you can really slide around on this floor." So when we went back to Cleveland, that last time for that district playoff game, we came in the locker room, we were chest bumping with the kids and the whole thing, and he told me the same thing. And I said, "Croy, I don't think I can do it. I think my socks are soaking wet from sweating." But those are the moments that you remember as a coach, the coach-player relationships. Obviously, we had some great performances out of all our kids. To win 20 games in a season, it's a difficult thing to do. And so we had a lot of great moments, a lot of great memories. But as coaches, those are the ones we cherish the most. When these kids are happy and they laid it all out there and they're exhausted in a good way. We talk about that good exhaustion, and they're jumping around in their element, and you can celebrate that with them. You can enjoy that with them, and that's what this is all about. That's what makes this special. And so as coaches, you know, that in a lot of ways is what keeps us coming back. Seeing kids grow, seeing kids develop, and enjoying those moments, because you endured the difficult times as well, and so to see that success come through, it's really very gratifying. So I'd like to thank all our guys for the experiences that they gave us, because You can coach as long, you can coach for 40, 50 years, and every year is different. Every year is different. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of special seasons, and this is absolutely one of them. So I'd like to thank our guys for that. All right, we would like all the varsity players to come up right now.
No intros?
Managers.
No intros?
Managers as well. I'd like for our managers to step forward here. Come on down right here. I guess that's hard to say this next person, and then, you know, describe that, and then I'd rather do, I think this is a little more streamlined. We have two managers that started with us this year, which is going to be nice. If they want to come back next year, it'll be nice. If not, then they're one and done. I don't know, but I think they want to come back. You two? You two can come back, you two can. So they got some great modeling from our two older managers. So we hope they come back next year for the next 3 years. Liliana Mercado. Sydney Graham. Katie has been with us for 1 year, and she's been terrific. Her and the Trey got to be pretty good buddies, and they kind of tag team all the duties, and they keep us in line game day, practice days. Oftentimes they're saying, Coach, what else do you want me to do? Can I do something else? And they're so good, we oftentimes don't have enough work for them because they're efficient. They do a great job. So, Katie, thanks for everything. Latrey has been with us for 4 years. That's a lot of service. That's a lot of service. She's a big part of this program. Someone that's with you for 4 years that helps you, they know a lot about us. And they probably keep the bad parts when we get upset and things like that. They come back every day, you know, no matter what. And sometimes we get frustrated with them, and it's not because we're frustrated with them, but we're frustrated with other things. So they kind of take a beating for things they didn't do, just because they're around at the wrong time and they're always asking what they can do. But she's been absolutely amazing, and we're really going to miss her. And we look forward to her having a bright future and doing great in the next 4 years. Latrey Smallwood. Okay, ladies, you can go back up there. Josh Sanchez, come on down. I'm just messing with you. Josh, as you know, if you came to some games, you know what his potential is and his ability level. He's highly skilled. Shooting, passing, dribbling. He's very athletic. He can run and jump. If we get that motor going a little faster, he's going to be something to behold because he can. He's got a lot of basketball ability. We're looking forward to him kick-starting that motorcycle and getting going. So, thanks, Josh. Brandon Clark, come on down. Brandon's a guy who will do anything on the basketball court to play. He's awfully disciplined. He's a coach's dream. He is diligent and disciplined and has improved his game as a result of that. His shooting's improved, his passing is improved, his ball handling's improved. He's always been a very good defender, and that's improved. He'll hustle, he'll take charges, he'll do anything, he'll do all the tough things that not all the players want to do. And he relishes that role, and we look forward to having him again next year. Round of applause. Taylor Barney. Taylor's a guy you could call, back in the day, he played for the Pistons, Vinny the Microwave. He'll come off the bench, and he heats up immediately. We used to say he's never met a shot he didn't like. He's never seen a shot he couldn't hit, and his shot's tough to block, so he's going to get it off. I don't know if you recall in the La Cueva game, we stuck him in the first game of the year, and he really got us going offensively from three, and he had no fear whatsoever. Really hurt down the stretch for him to be sick. We could have used him for a shot in the arm coming off the bench, but late in the season he got bronchitis pretty bad, and he missed several practices and several games, but we really look forward to him. He's improved his rebounding and his defense. So we really look forward to some instant offense next year. Derek Martinez. Derek's a guy who also has got a lot of natural ability as far as a basketball player. He's a great athlete. He plays 3 sports and will letter probably multiple years in 3 sports. Basketball-wise, he's very skilled. He's made a lot of tough shots in his short career here at Cibola already. He gave us a big lift off the bench, can play the point or the 2 position. We look forward to 2 more years with Derek. Preston. There you go. Another guy who can score in many different ways. He goes to the hole well. And as long and as thin as he is, he's fearless. He plays with a lot of toughness. Got a lot of deflections in key games for us, big buckets in key games. Gave us a big lift from the beginning of the season coming off the bench. Had some great games in Clovis, as well as some of those other big games that we mentioned earlier. We look forward to Preston next year as well, being both sides of the basketball. Kevin Seiss. I asked him how many nicknames he said. He just had Chaka. That was it. But I know he's got others. And they said, the kid said when he combs his hair like that, he looks just like his dad. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, Marty. That's just what the kid said. Kevin is, he keeps things light for us. I've talked to Kevin a few times about separating his times. Like Kevin, when you're in the locker room after the game or practice, and there's no coaches or anything, you can clown around a little bit. And, you know, on the way into the locker room from practice, you can clown around and all that. But when you're coming into practice or you're in practice, he just likes to talk to everybody. And then we get started and he works his tail off in practice and all that, but he's a social guy. And he has to have X amount of hours every day of social time. And we understand that. So we try to like move him into those areas at the right time. And he's getting better. And we hope next year that he'll move himself into those areas at the right time. But he's another kid who can score. Played some 1 and 2 for us. Shot the ball very well. Was a big part of that 29-point victory at Volcano. He just added fuel to the fire when he came in. He had a lot of big games. He played some really good games in the Clovis tournament as well. But we look forward to big things from him as well. We want for him to take a charge next year, and he promised that he would. So we'll start with 1. Thank you. Ross Buckman. Very short, that's perfect, yes. Ross is a 3-year letterman for us. Terrific energy. All over the floor, motor never stops, never. Sometimes it spills over, but I love his motor. And I'll tell you what, he had some terrific games. I'll never forget that block shot he had in the Albuquerque High game that really could have been a game winner for the Bulldogs. Some people came down after and said, oh, it was a goaltend. I said, no, it was a clean block. Blocked that thing off the board in the Albuquerque High game when that kid made a steal. And he had several great moments, guarded bigger players in Clovis, and was a big part of our success there. And all season out at Volcano Vista was another terrific game he had. And we look for big things from Ross in the future. Leadership. He knows more about our program than any of these younger guys. And we expect him not only to improve immensely over this off season, but he's going to be a big leader for us next year. Thank you, Ross. Cameron. Cameron's the ultimate team guy. We've categorized him in a lot of different ways. Leadership. He's a guy who will never, I can't say never because everybody makes mistakes, but seldom does he miss an assignment. If he's supposed to be in weak side help, he's in weak side help. If he's supposed to be screening, he's screening. If somebody else is supposed to be screening, he knows they're supposed to be screening, he lets them know. He's had some terrific games for us. He's a great floor leader at the point guard. He's run the show for us. Last year he did a terrific job for us, and he pretty much, I don't know what the word is, but he got the JV going last year big time when he got a few extra quarters down there, and that was huge for us. But disciplined, hardworking, terrific leader. Had some terrific Steve Nash kind of drives this year where he kind of one-handed it. Driving closeouts. Everything that you talk to the kids about, he absorbs it. And so we're going to miss his leadership and the fact that he was a terrific floor general for us. JT? JT gave us great energy at the point guard this year. We got a lot more transition baskets from relatively a half-court team this year as a result of JT's play. He was longer, he got down and guarded a little bit more than the year before. So he really relished the defensive role a little bit more this year. He led us in assists. And like I said, it's nice to have a guy who can get you some easy buckets in transition. That's hard to find. We're going to miss his leadership on the floor as well at the point guard position. And I know he's probably going to grow more and he's going to get stronger because I see him do it almost before my eyes. But that always drives me crazy when I see these guys a year or two later. And the hairdo, I don't know, that'll probably change too, but we're going to miss this kid. Thank you, JT. James Healy. When James was a freshman, should I tell him that story? James has come a long way from the time he was a freshman. Handling things, ups and downs, any type of adversity, things like that, he's come a long way. And I don't know in my 25 years if I've ever had a kid who spent more time in the gym than James has. The 3 or 4 coaches that we have can attest to this, the text messages we get, from James, can you open the gym all summer, last year, now, spring break. I was on spring break and I got a text from James, can you open the gym? And I said, James. I said that to myself, but I mean, he has spent thousands of hours in the gym virtually by himself. At times he had a player or two from our program with him, but most of the time he really enjoyed going to the gym by himself. And as a result of that, he's a terrific shooter. I've had the opportunity to coach some great shooters in my career, but I don't know if I've ever had a guy who shot with that kind of range and that kind of consistency. He was over 40% for the season from three-point. That's really difficult to do. He's improved his ball handling, his shooting off the dribble, his defense. All those things have improved tremendously. He's got a great passion for the game. He wants to continue after high school. But the best thing about all that is our younger kids saw that. Our younger kids saw the fact that he was in the gym. A lot of these guys spent time with him in the gym. So it didn't just benefit James, and through that benefit our program. It benefited, our team. It benefited our whole program. So I'd like to thank you for that, James. Devon. Devon's a guy, one of our three-year lettermen who has the most experience of anybody on our team. He played a lot of significant minutes as a sophomore, as a junior, and as a senior. He's been a mainstay, knows everything about what we do, is also a leader on the floor about knowing where others are supposed to be, as well as himself. Works hard on defense, works hard on rebounding, works hard on offense. There isn't a part of the game that he can't play. He's really a 1 through 4 guy. We played him a little bit at the point at times early in the season. You can play him at the 2, you can play him at the 3, you can play him at the 4, you can play him at the 5 if you want to go really small. He can do all those things. Puts the ball on the floor really well, extremely powerful, great hands. You throw him a bad pass, he's probably going to catch it. But the stabilizing force that he has provided for our program over the last 2 years has been terrific. We talk a lot about what these kids can do with their skills, but the bigger things are what they do with our attitude, our spirit, really the soul of our team, and that's far more important to me, and that's what Devon provided. Thanks, sir. Troy Cedillo. I don't like to use this word because I don't want to offend anybody, but McCroy's a soldier. He's a guy who will do anything and everything for the team cause, for whatever the coach asks him to do, in any role. And for us, he played a lot of roles. He played inside, typically against bigger players, and was extremely effective. He played on the perimeter, and when we had a mismatch, if we had a mismatch we wanted to expose with Devon, before we could even call it out, Croy was on the perimeter. He understands the game at a higher level. Another kid who's very disciplined, diligent, and hardworking. Basketball IQ extremely high, and somebody we're going to miss tremendously. I've known Croy since he was a little guy. Remember, he was the ball boy on the football team. Really a fine young man, and as I mentioned earlier in the year, he's a guy that will give you a handshake and look you in the eye, and you know he's good. He's good for him. And that says a heck of a lot about the young man. Thank you. Marcus? Marcus probably still has a few bruises on his body, but I'm sure he's gained a few more from baseball. But I remember Marcus and Hobbs. I'll never forget that he didn't play a particularly good game. He got a chance to play against Hobbs, in the Hobbs tournament, first round. So guess what we were? You know, we were the sacrificial lambs. We'll bring Cibola in, they're young. We'll play them first round. Big crowd. If you've ever been to Hobbs and played in front of that group, I mean, there's a ton of tradition there. And sometimes it eats you up a little bit. I'll never forget Marcus handled the ball, and he struggled with that. And it was almost like it was early in the year, and it was almost like a turning point, even though he's a sophomore. I'm going to get better. He didn't say it to anybody. He just did it with his actions. And Marcus is an actions guy. He speaks with his actions a lot, and he also verbalizes, but his actions speak a little bit louder. And just the toughness that he portrayed and he exhibited for our program was terrific. Offensive rebounds when we need them, loose balls when we need them, take a charge when we need it, make a bucket when we need it. He did all those things, and he was the ultimate team guy. He accepted the role of guarding the other team's best player. He relished it. He asked for it. We'd be in walkthroughs, and he'd say, "Coach, I got that guy, right?" It was never failed. Every walkthrough we had, which was for every game, "I got that guy, Coach, right?" And he did a terrific job. And that toughness that a lot of these guys showed, I hope rubs off on our younger guys, but he really did a terrific job of leading our team by example. Thanks. And our leading rebounder this year was Banquet. We had a high team assist total this year, just about every game. We got a lot of team assists. There's several guys with 2 or more, but our leading assist individual was John Thompson. Our most improved player, offensively, defensively, he looked at pretty much all parts of the game, was Preston Banquet. This next guy averaged a little over 16 points a game. He had some games that really brought us back. I can think of the first Monzano game here where he hit some shots like from the coaching box and the hash mark, volleyball lines. But he did that quite a bit through the season, and that's James Healy. No problem. We have 3 Mr. Hustle Awards, and honestly with this team, there are very few guys that we wouldn't give this award to. We thought 3 was probably the limit, right? So we like these 3 guys to come down, but this in no way diminishes these other guys who didn't, who don't get this award. Cameron Christensen, Ross Buckman, Troy Cedillo. once again, as a team, we had one of the lowest points allowed that we've had in several years, long time. We were just below 50 for most of the season, points allowed. I thought our defense was always pretty good. As a matter of fact, I thought at times it was stellar. I thought these kids supported each other really well, and I was just very impressed with what they did defensively. And we have our Mr. Defense Award goes to Marcus Tenorio. Okay, gentlemen, you can have a seat. Thank you. We have 10 and 13 varsity players got 3.5 or better. We have, I don't believe, Corey Miller might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but we have never had, I think, 8 academic all-district players. I mean, when I submitted the names at the district meeting with the other coaches, they thought I was lying. And I knew they would, so I printed them up, and I had them written out, each kid. And they're like, Coach, man, that's amazing. And the rest of them, you saw at the district championship game how many of the other teams got. And so that's awfully impressive. And what it does for us as coaches, it makes them easy to coach. Because they already have discipline. You know, they go home and do their homework. They turn assignments in when they're supposed to. They do well on tests because they prepare ahead of time. So, you know, if they carry that over to the floor, it's easy for us to coach them. I'd like for Katie and Latre to come up because I didn't get a plaque for them. I always leave somebody out. But this time I left our 2 managers out, and I apologize. I did check them, but for some reason I didn't get the awards. Come on up. Come on. I believe Latre was a 3.85, and I think Katie was a 4.0. C-team, Chris Harlow, 3.57. Derek Martinez, 3.57. Did you copy from him? You have the same email. Preston Bungay, 3.57. You guys all have the same classes? Get that one, Kevin? Ross Buckman, 3.57. Zach Caramillo, guess what it is? 3.75. Kevin Seiss, 3.57. Brandon Clark, 3.75. John Thompson, 3.57. The same way you're doing it. Marcus Tenorio, 4.0. Troy Cedillo, 4.0. James Healy, 4.0. Christensen 4.0. Okay, take a look. The rest of you players, this is where you want to be next year. Get those grades. Thank you. Thank you. Coached at the middle school level for a long time. AAU, great deal of experience. She keeps our book on the road for most of the year, and she comes to practices, and she's been a terrific friend and great support to myself and the program. I just want to thank you. Berlin, Steele, come on up. Berlin does a lot of things for a lot of people here at school. And it doesn't have to just be here at school. She's always willing to lend a hand. She does the certificates every year. She does a ton of things that help us at this level. We can go in there and say, hey, we need this, we need that, and I got it, no problem, I got it. So there's never anything that she's unwilling to do. She's extremely helpful and very supportive, and I just want to thank her for that. And I know the Booster Club did a lot of thanking and recognition. But I'd like to thank Susan Buckman and Dave Buckman. I'd like for both of you to come up for everything that they do. And I'd just like to thank them for everything they do in coordinating all the stuff that happens behind the scenes. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Gene Victor, our athletic director, would like to come up at this time.
Yeah!
This is my first ever banquet as athletic director, and I'm extremely proud of this team that's out here tonight. It's been out there all year. It's been fun to watch. I'm glad it was my first experience with boys basketball and girls basketball, because it was really a great trip. First thing I'd like to do as athletic director, and as long as I'm athletic director here at Cibola High School, I can guarantee you there will never be a team that wins a district championship that does not get an award. For those of you that don't, and I'm sure you all understand, I've coached for many years, and you can see in the NCAA tournament right now, it is much more difficult to win a regular season district championship than it ever is to win a district tournament. And my hat's off to this team for both this year and last year, and I do not understand why our district does not seem to want to recognize that. But my first act as athletic director is to ensure that no team at Cibola High School that wins a district regular season championship goes unnoticed. And Ray, this flag is for you and the team this year and last year, and it says back-to-back regular season district 1-5A champions.
Let's go! Let's go!
Or what? Disperse.
A flag to this year's Player of the Year in boys basketball for District 1-5A. And this award goes to James Healy of Cibola High School. Not to diminish any other award that's been given this evening, and I talked to Ray. I want to talk to him about that I thought he should present this award, and he said that whenever the athletic director is there, he would like him to present it. And I talked to Ray about this award, And like I said, not to diminish any other award that's given here tonight, but in my opinion, this is the most important award that can be given to anyone. And this award goes as the Character Council Award for Cibola High School this year in basketball, in boys basketball. And I've coached here several years. I've known a lot of young athletes that have received this award. And I can tell you this, and I'm sure it's Ray's opinion also, there's no athlete that I've ever been associated with, and I'm a little bit partial since I've known this young man for several years, but nobody ever more deserving than this young man for the Character Council Award, and it goes to Cameron Christensen. And this last award I'd like to give is a special award that I think is very deserving. You know, probably one of the most misquoted quotes of all time is attributed to Vince Lombardi. And Vince Lombardi was said to have made the statement that winning isn't the most important thing, it's the only thing. And people don't understand how, and I've actually looked this up. The quote that Vince Lombardi said, and what he actually stated, was winning isn't the most important thing in life. The most important thing in life is trying to win. And I can tell you after watching this basketball, this team, and I've watched it for several years, not just this year, and I watched this man do wonders in teaching young men not only how to play basketball, how to play defense, but how to succeed in life. And as you guys get to be my age, you're going to look back and you're going to say, not only did your parents lead you along these paths, but your coaches did. And this year, no one more deserving than this man. And it's the boys, Coach of the Year for Boys Basketball, District 1-5A, Ray Rodriguez. The last thing I'd like to say before I turn it back over to Ray is, all of you young men in this room, and I know that it probably never crosses your mind, but you've got a lot of tremendous support, not only from this coaching staff, but most importantly from your parents. And I want every young man in this room to stand up and turn around and applaud your parents for all the support they've been giving you. Thank you.
We'd like all the seniors to come up at this time. Stand right here. These are wonderful gifts for kids to have. I love them.
Wait, he can wear it honestly, but I can't. Marky Mark vintage. Swaggy. Swavy. 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 Oh, that's why. That's why.
The sun's all behind me.
And
Mark, back. Back. Move back a little bit. Take a couple steps back. And get closer.
Get closer.
Look over here.
one thing before this round, it's always special at a banquet when you honor your seniors. And these guys, it's extra special. These guys have been together for 4 years. seldom do we have a complete group of kids who have been together for 4 years. They set the tone. I think they put our program back on the map. I think we were there for a while and we slipped for a couple of years, and these guys brought us back. And I'm awfully proud of them. I just want to thank you guys for